What's up, everybody? I'm HoopsandHipHop, and we are gathered here today. Wait a minute, am I at a wedding or something? Anyways, we are here today to talk about some Pokemon theories. Now, if you recall, I had a series running on my channel where I was going over 5 of the best Pokemon theories from every generation, and I figured before Sword and Shield comes out and makes this particular video completely irrelevant, we better go ahead and cover Alola as well. The 7th generation of Pokemon featured in Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, and also featuring the Alola region, had a lot of very interesting theories to offer because, of course, it offered its own unique culture and world that was very different from what we had seen in previous generations. Also, if you've been on YouTube long enough, you probably remember the absolute bedlam that was Pokemon Sun and Moon pre-release hype season. It was absolutely insane, and of course, it spawned a lot of really great theories as well, and that is what we are here to talk about today, what I believe are 5 of the best Pokemon Sun and Moon Generation 7 Alola-related theories of all time. So, with all that being said, why don't we go ahead and check them out. Okay, so this first one is coming from none other than my guy, Birdkeeper Toby, and just to give you a little bit of a warning, Toby pretty much killed it when it came to the Gen 7 Sun and Moon related theories, so you'll probably be seeing him a few times throughout this video. Anyway, this theory has to do with Red, who returned as an older version of himself in Sun and Moon, and one of the most iconic Generation 7 Pokemon as well, Mimikyu. Now, the theory here is essentially that Red is responsible for making Mimikyu the way it is today, in that it likes to mimic Pikachu and hides its true self inside of an old Pikachu plush. The theory starts off with Mimikyu itself, and looking at the fact that Mimikyu clearly likes to mimic Pikachu. I mean, it's in its name, Mimic You. But if you happen to be on the Pokemon Sun and Moon website around the time that Mimikyu was revealed and around the time that Pokemon Sun and Moon were being released, you would have been able to read a little blurb about Mimikyu that stated that the reason why it likes to mimic Pikachu is due to the rise in popularity of Pikachu merchandise 20 years ago, which resulted in Mimikyu kind of wanting to be as popular and adored as Pikachu is. So in short, this is why Mimikyu mimics Pikachu, but according to Toby's theory, the real culprit behind all of this is none other than the protagonist of the Generation 1 games, Red. And this all stems from the little blurb on the website about the rise in popularity of Pikachu merchandise 20 years ago. Now, obviously, because of the fact that Sun and Moon released during the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, this is a subtle Easter egg to the real-life events of our own world. But as far as an in-game universe explanation for the rise in popularity of Pikachu merchandise, this theory states that it's due to Red and the events that he took place in during Pokemon Red and Blue, where he not only became the champion of the Kanto League, but simultaneously stopped Team Rocket, all with the help of his signature Pikachu. I mean, an 11-year-old kid becoming champion of the Pokemon League while simultaneously taking down an evil crime syndicate is definitely going to be front page news, and since Pikachu was Red's signature Pokemon during that time, it does make sense that people would want to emulate Red by buying Pikachu merchandise and basically becoming a Pikachu fan themselves. And these actions indirectly caused Mimikyu to see this rise in Pikachu popularity, which caused it to want to mimic Pikachu to hopefully get some of the love that it itself so desperately craved. Now, the one little asterisk to this theory is that it relies on the 20-year timeline theory from Red and Blue to Sun and Moon, and to be honest with you, I am not a subscriber to that theory at all. However, due to the fact that the timeline and the amount of time within it hasn't really been specified or confirmed, and due to the fact that this theory in and of itself is just so freaking cool because it shows how the events of one character can affect the events of another, I still think it's one of the best Sun and Moon theories out there. Next up comes a theory from Pokemon Insider, and this is the theory that the Elite Four member of the Alola region, Kahili, is actually the daughter of Winona and Wallace from the Hoenn region. This theory all stems from the fact that we know that Kahili's dad is the owner of the Hano Grand Resort, but we don't exactly know who he is specifically. Where Wallace and Winona come into this picture is the fact that we know that Kahili left Alola before coming back to become an Elite Four member, and we know that she also has a lighter skin tone, which many of the local residents of Alola don't have, in that they have a naturally tanner, darker skin tone. In addition to this, Kahili uses flying type Pokemon, which is the same type that her potential would-be mother Winona uses, and most importantly, Wallace and Winona actually had a romantic relationship in the Pokemon Adventures manga, and if you compare all three of these characters side by side, Kahili honestly does look like a mixture of both Wallace and Winona from a purely physical standpoint. So even though this theory is kind of crossing canons and using evidence from both the games and the manga, I still think it's a really cool and really well thought out explanation as to who Kahili's dad could actually be. Next up, and don't say I didn't warn you, we have another theory from Birdkeeper Toby. Now this one is really interesting because it technically didn't end up becoming true, but due to the way that the evidence just came together so very convincingly, I really had no choice but to put it on this list, because honestly I am flabbergasted that it didn't actually come true due to how convincing it actually is. This theory was created prior to the official release of Pokemon Sun and Moon, and it stated that Magearna, one of the mythical Pokemon of the Alola region, was actually the 5th island guardian of the Alola region, representing the man-made island of Ether Paradise. First off, we know that all 4 islands of the Alola region have an island guardian associated with them. However, there is also kind of a 5th pseudo-island in the Alola region, and that would be the man-made island of Ether Paradise. Now, in this theory, Toby speculated that if there is a 5th man-made island, wouldn't there be a 5th island guardian to go with it that could also potentially be man-made? Well, this is where Magearna comes into play, because Magearna is man-made, which makes it fit the criteria for this potential 5th island guardian. And on top of that, the thing that really made this super convincing is that Magearna is also part fairy type, which matches the typings of all 4 island guardians. So due to all of these different factors, it really seemed like a foregone conclusion at the time that Magearna would in fact be the 5th man-made island guardian that would represent the Ether Paradise. And due to the evidence that this theory used and the way that it kind of put it all together so convincingly, still makes it one of the best Alola Pokemon theories of all time, in my opinion, no doubt about it. And speaking of theories that are basically foregone conclusions, this next one is pretty much accepted as a fact by everyone, but because of the fact that it hasn't been officially confirmed, it still makes it a theory, and that's why I'm talking about it here, and that would be none other than the idea that Exeggutor is originally from the Alola region. Now, this one popped up pretty much at the same time that Alolan Exeggutor popped up, because according to Alolan Exeggutor's dex entries, this is kind of its true form that it's able to take thanks to the radiant sunlight of the Alola region, which subsequently makes the original Kanto form of Exeggutor a kind of stunted growth version of this Pokemon. However, even though Alolan Exeggutor wasn't introduced until the 7th generation, and the first time we saw Exeggutor was of course in the Kanto region, there's actually evidence of a Alolan Exeggutor or an elongated Exeggutor from the earlier days of Pokemon as well, because in the jungle expansion of the Pokemon trading card game, you can actually see on the box art of this particular set an elongated Exeggutor that looks very similar to the appearance of Alolan Exeggutor. And on top of that, some of the Pokedex entries in Generation 3 for Exeggutor state that it originally came from the tropics, which obviously would fit the description of Alola. And to add the cherry on top to all of this, Exeggutor's pre-evolution Execute can only be found in the Safari Zone in the Kanto region, which is definitely a place where a Pokemon who was imported from another region would be taken in order to increase the appeal of a facility like this. So it it just seems like from every angle, Exeggutor is actually an Alolan Pokemon, not a Kanto Pokemon, and I think it's only a matter of Game Freak coming out and telling us themselves once and for all that this is the case, because I really don't see any other way that this couldn't be true. And last but not least, we have yet another theory from Birdkeeper Toby. Like, oh my gosh, Toby, we get it. You're amazing, you're awesome, you're a great theorist, and you're a fantastic Poketuber. Jeez. Anyways, this theory is actually about Team Rainbow Rocket, who was featured in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. In the post-game of those games, you actually got to go against this sinister team who was comprised of all of the evil team leaders from every single evil team that we have seen up to this point. But not only that, it was comprised of leaders from universes where they actually succeeded in their evil plans, making this basically the most evil of all evil teams we have ever seen. And one very minute detail of Team Rainbow Rocket is that all of the Pokemon of all of the evil leaders are contained within Master Balls, and this seems kind of peculiar right off the bat because of course the Master Ball is an item that most of us know as an item that there is only one or two of within the game. So how do all of the evil team leaders have all of their Pokemon inside of a ball that there's really only supposed to be one of within each game? Well, the answer to this, according to this theory, is rather simple, because due to the fact that all of these evil team leaders came from a universe where they succeeded in their plans, this would include the ultimate leader of Team Rainbow Rocket as well, Giovanni, and as we all know, his goal was ultimately to basically be able to catch Pokemon and sell them for profit, and one of the ways he tried to do this was by going to Silphco to steal the Master Ball. So if he succeeded in his plans of stealing the Master Ball and taking over Silphco in another universe, this would obviously give him access to the blueprints of the Master Ball as well, which would allow him to mass produce it for his evil team, which would allow him to catch any Pokemon without fail, which would not only give him plenty of Pokemon to sell for profit, but it would also allow them to catch any Pokemon they wanted, including the most powerful and rare ones of all, which would make it so that Team Rocket was just simply too powerful to ever be opposed. This is another one of those theories that I personally believe is a foregone conclusion, and the only reason why it's still technically a theory is because Game Freak hasn't come out and confirmed it themselves, but as far as I'm concerned, it's 100% true. So Toby, once again, you have outdone yourself. Great job. And there we have it, everybody. Those were 5 of the best Alola Pokemon theories of all time. Now, even though I personally loved reporting on these and bringing them all together in one video, I was not the creator of them, so if you want to check out the original video for any one of these theories, you can go to the link below and check it out, because the original creators definitely deserve all your support. If you guys did enjoy this video though, be sure to give it a like and let me know down in the comments below which one of these theories you like the best, or if you have another Alola theory yourself that you'd like to share. If you are new to the channel though, be sure to subscribe for more new Pokemon content every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, as we are getting pretty dang close to 100,000 subscribers, so any and all help to finally get over that milestone would just be immensely appreciated from the bottom of my heart. And hey, once we do hit that milestone, I have an amazingly special surprise to show you guys that I cannot wait to reveal. And finally, as always, if you like what you see here and you want to support the channel further, consider following me on Spotify and giving some of my Pokemon remixes a listen there, because that directly supports the channel. It's a great way to further support the channel outside of watching videos, and it does so much to continue to allow me to bring videos like this to you guys each and every week. With all that being said though, I will be back with another video on Tuesday, so be sure to hit that notification bell so you can be notified as soon as it goes live. And with all that being said, I hope you know I love you guys, and until the next one, as always, I will smell you guys later.